Alright guys, it's Doctor here, and Noob Shooter, who is a long-time subscriber of mine, asked me, well, he didn't ask me, I asked him after a short talk if I should do a helicopter tutorial, as I guess I'm pretty good so far, and he said he would appreciate it because he always gets shot down. So what this basically is a helicopter tutorial, only for the attack helicopters, and I hope you like the idea. So it's going to be split in 3 parts, and this is going to be the first one and the most basic one. So we're going to get right into it, and I hope you enjoy. So the first thing that is very important if you want to fly the attack helicopter is that you know how to fly it. Now, I cannot give you specific tips on how I use my sticks because many people use different settings for the controls. I myself use Legacy, I think it's called in English. It's called Classical in my German version. I don't really know the English word because it's what I was used to from Bad Company 2. And my friend Lolbot, for example, is using the normal settings that you get if you buy the game. And I can make a tutorial if you want me for the Legacy settings. But other than that, the biggest tip I can give to you is just to learn how to fly by getting into a private server like I'm doing here. You know, do some crazy stuff, fly on the roads, whatever you want to do. This is also going to be very important in the second part of the whole guide. So my biggest tip for you, I've did this for hours, you're going to crash a lot most likely, just try to fly as crazy as you can. And like this you'll be able to dodge lampposts, and you know, just by a few meters you need to move your helicopter very accurately, and you'll see in the end something that I also got due to the training I got from these private servers. This one is on my server, by the way. It might be empty at some times, so you can hop in there. I'll have the name down there in the description. It's only helicopter maps. Most likely it's going to be Caspian and Wake Island. And you will recognize me as the guy sitting in the Viper or the Havoc, and I'm just going to rain down fire basically. And overall, there's 2 different helicopters in this game for the attack helicopter class, whatever you want to call it, and there's the American Viper and the Havoc. Now, the Viper is to most people still the better one to fly. It's easy, it feels like smoother to control, it can fly faster. I think it turns a little bit slower since the update, but has a great climbing speed. Overall, it's a lot easier to fly, and I'm gonna get into the difference to the Havoc in a second. As you see me here land up on this tower, which is not an easy thing to do, but exactly stuff like this is a good exercise. So let's get into the Havoc a little bit and talk about how it differs from the Viper. Okay, so here you see some Havoc footage. You're gonna see me do some stupid stuff with it in a second. The Havoc, in my opinion, is still kind of sluggish compared to the Viper. I love it since the patch. Before the patch I couldn't fly this thing, it was like a flying Amtrak. Right now they really changed a lot. The turning speed has been greatly improved, as well as the climbing speed. It moves a little slower than the Viper. The Viper is like, you can go at fast speeds and really outrun the Havoc. But overall, the biggest tip I can give you, I can't really say what exactly the difference is between these helicopters. I'm just going to talk for my what I feel right now, and really what is going to help you out the most is just practice. As I said before, go in private servers, just, you know, try fly as low as you can, try thread the needle basically, flying through buildings, flying below bridges. All that stuff will make you a better pilot. As you see me no sliding here, which you can only do with the Havoc, by the way. So we're gonna get started with the aiming in a second, because this is also something that many people misunderstand about the attack helicopters. So let's get going. To understand the aiming of the helicopters, you need to know one thing. You see the crosshairs in the middle of the helicopter. There's this little crosshair in the middle, and this bar that you see there as Rattlesnake crashed into me. Thank you, by the way, Rattlesnake. He was helping me with the video. And what you're gonna realize here is that your missiles don't actually hit where the middle crosshair is. You're gonna hit where the bar is. So what this means, if you want to be accurate with a helicopter, especially when you're doing some crazy maneuvers, you know, circle strafing, which we're going to cover later on, requires you to always aim with the bar, because your missiles are going to be off. What this basically means, as you can see here in the footage, you always want to aim with the bar, and that is something many people misunderstand. I see sometimes helicopter pilots that aren't able to disable a tank with one strafe. That is most likely just because they don't know where to exactly aim. The missiles go, I think they might be a little in between the two, the middle crosshair and the bar, but overall my tip for aiming is always aim for the bar, and you'll be good to go, taking out other targets more effectively, because especially infantry is really hard to hit and really hard to kill, because the splash damage still isn't that great. So let's go on to the next flying styles now, which are going to be side strafing, circus strafing, and the strafe run. Okay, so this is the most basic flying style, and it's called the strafe run. I'm gonna just show it on the gas station at D here on Caspian border, on how to do this basically. And there's two ways of actually doing it, but as I said, it's very basic. So if you hop in a helicopter the first time, you will most likely crash, and the second time, as soon as you manage to fly, you will most likely start flying like this, as it's very easy. All you gotta do is just point your nose at the target, shoot down, and you know, it's gonna do quite a bit of damage, but overall you're still an easy target to hit for stingers, because you're staying higher up, and for jets of course, or you can go low after the strafe and you're gonna be an easy target for tanks. So depending on what you want to attack and what is attacking you, you want to differ in between going low, as you see me here after the strafe, or going high as I did before. What I mainly can say is, if you attack a tank, you want to stay higher up, as they can hit you with your main cannon. If you attack infantry with stingers, you want to stay low after every strafe run. During the strafe, and you can protect yourself. You know, when you're above radar, you can use flares or ECM, whatever you use, to deflect the stinger missiles or to break the locks, and you'll be good to go. You'll be staying alive. And as I said, depending on what you fly against, if you have people that are good with RPGs, you want to keep some distance. If you have a lot of people with stingers, you want to get as close as possible, because if you're standing right next to them, they can't do anything to you. If you're flying below radar, there's also no way for them to lock on. So you just want to differ on what you attack, and overall strafe runs aren't a bad thing, especially on flags like D here, where there's a lot of things that you can crash into if you want to circle strafe. And that is also where I use the strafe runs. Overall, very basic, as I said, yet effective if used correctly. And a good pilot with a good gunner can take out a tank in one strafe run easily. So basically not a bad thing, as I said. Just you gotta differ how you fly depending on what you're trying to attack. And for most flags, I won't use this tactic. I use it against tanks that are out in the open, stuff like that. And of course flags like D or C at Karg Island, where you really can't circus strafe at all. And speaking of circus strafing, that's going to be our next point, so it's going to be up in a second. Okay, so the next part here is circus strafing, and circus strafing has one big advantage over strafe running, and that is that you always point towards target. This means you can shoot your missiles off without waiting to turn around. You're constantly firing down at the target. It's very easy for the gunner if he's used to the fly style, so you can inflict a lot of damage. It is really effective for flags like C, or flags that have very little cover and very little trees or lamp posts. If you want to attack B over there, you won't have a chance circus strafing, there's too many trees around it. But let's say for example A on Karg Island, that's also a great map to great spot to circle strafe. There's not many things that you can crash into, and you can't easily go below radar on these things. Like I could do here, I could just go down a little bit in case I was locked on. So overall, it's not easy to control. That's the biggest problem many people have. As you can see, you can do it in both ways. I can fly both, I can circle strafe both right and left way. As I said, it's kind of hard to control, and I can make a guide on it if you want me to, just for legacy controls though. And it requires quite a lot of exercising and practice. However, I find it's very effective for certain situations, especially like C. What it does, it has one disadvantage, I think, and that is that you can be hit easily by tank shells. Let's say a tank was at B, he will most likely have killed me by now. Anyway, let's get into side strafing and see how that goes. As the last specific flying style, there is side strafing. Now, side strafing is, I'm gonna tell you, very hard to do. It's harder than circus strafing. you continuously need to switch directions, and it is also very hard to stay on target as the pilot. What this flying style helps you with is bases like B at Kark Island. On Caspian border, this flying style won't have a lot of use for you, that's why I switched maps here. You can see my gunner has a good overview of the situations, and we're continuously moving and below radar. This means we can not get hit by stingers, and RPGs will also have a hard time hitting us because my gunner will see them and take them out before they can get a good shot usually. Overall, what you want to do if you fly like this is maintain your distance to the target and always try to fly predictable for your gunner so that he can stay on target, kill those people easily before they manage to attack you. Now, as I said, this method of flying isn't too easy to accomplish. It needs a lot of exercising. Few of my friends still fail at doing so. Rattle, who is doing this guide with me, said himself he would crash if he does this. He tried it. So overall, it needs a lot of exercising, but luckily it hasn't got that many uses. You can use it to demolish B, as you see us do here, especially on Rush on Kark Island if you want to play that. It's also very useful to just, stray from side to side. So this has been the last flying style. We got a little bit more talk going, and then we're going to be done with the guide for today. Okay, so the last part of the footage you see here is just some random Rush footage, just to get a few more notes out. First of all, I want to thank my buddy Rattle for helping me out with the video, getting in a server so that isn't that ugly icon up on top. And as I said, this is only the first part of the video, or of the whole guide, not the first part of the video, sorry. The ones I'm gonna have afterwards is also gonna be the below radar guide, which is a very important thing, which is also gonna incorporate a lot of work with the environment. And there's also gonna be the working with targets and how we want to attack different targets on different maps too, and that's going to be the other two parts of the whole guide. If you want me to, I can make a guide on how to circle strafe exactly using the sticks. I don't think it's going to be too much of a help though. It's just, as I said, a lot of exercising, a lot of practice. But if you want me to do it for the legacy controls, I can do so. Just need to tell me. And I guess that's been it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, go ahead, ask me. Any suggestions, welcome to hear to sell them, note them, whatever. And yeah, I'm off for the day. See ya.